Good afternoon. Good evening. Got a minute or so before we get started. I'm going to go ahead and log into Facebook as I normally do. Let's see here. One moment. We're going to get started. Oh, shoot. Thanks. All right. I had to make sure I went on live for on Facebook so that everything was viewable to the public. I hope all is well. We'll get started in just a few minutes here. Okay, perfect. All right. We'll get started here now. And yeah, I want to make sure that I'm mindful of your time, especially tonight. I know it's the holiday season. And so I don't want to be impeding on and intruding on anybody's time with their family, because this is great family time if you have time off, or if you don't, whatever time you have, either having time for yourself or your family, that's important. So I don't want to be too long with you guys tonight, but I did want to close out 2024 and also share with you all some really good insight that I believe the Lord had for me to share with you guys as it relates to how you maximize the rest of this year and also 2025, how we become more intentional about what it is that we want, and make sure that those things start to manifest. But in addition to that, make sure that we are very much mindful that we have been created with purpose. And what that means is that there's something that's supposed to be done through us. Of course, we get to experience it, but through us. And it has a specific purpose, meaning it may be there to build something, to build a person, to build a community. It could be a myriad of things. And so us being more intentional, especially around this day and time, is going to be essential. I got on my good glasses so I can make sure I can read this, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys because I'm a visual person, and I believe a lot of people are like me, and I love to learn, right? And so if somebody can show me the resources that they've been talking about in previous encounters with me, it helps me to connect the dots. So before I get started, you guys already know, those that have listened for the last 19 episodes, I am like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it's 19. Oh, Almond Glaze, you have my heart. And you know what? And this is just to get started. I'm gonna do this right now. I was gonna do it at the end, but Almond Glaze, God told me to be obedient and do this, and I be trying to be obedient. I'll be off track sometime, but that's not, well, that's another episode for 2025. And so, but I am grateful for Almond Glaze. I didn't call her Almond Joy. I didn't call her Almond Eyes or him. I don't even know. But anyway, I'm just grateful for your support in your engagement. You have great insight. You ask great questions. You trigger even me to think. And so that's why this is important to do life with people, and I'm grateful for. But anyway, I share all that to say I want you to make sure you email me or inbox me some kind of way, because I want to send you something as a gratitude gift. Now, you may say, Shay, I don't know you like that. If you got a PO box, then great. If you have an email, I just learned that I can send things that I want to, gift cards or whatever I want to send. I can send those to email too for virtually. So I want you to email me at idmovement2020@gmail.com, and make sure you do that. Just do that, and don't be like some people. And I say some people because I'm sometimes like this. I'll be like, oh no, don't give me anything. Well, I'm telling you, just receive, because that's what I'm starting to tell myself too. Okay. So please make sure you do that. I'm grateful, and I want to make sure that, I maximize the time to express my gratitude in different ways, in addition to verbally. So thank you. Make sure you do that for me, Almond Glaze. Okay. Toya, make sure you put it in the comments so she does it too. Okay. She or he, because I'm assuming she's a she, but I could be wrong. But anyway, but I'm so excited. If you've been engaging and watching, you'll know. And if you watch later, it's all good, as long as you get what you're supposed to do. And I believe you'll watch it at the time that is purpose for you to watch it. But the goal here is always to share best practices, to share insight, and it's not to act as a professional counselor or anything like that. I always recommend that if you're working through anything, even if you are working on the 2020, the rest of this year, and prepping for 2025, not resolutions, but prepping like with a plan and things of that nature. It may not be a counselor. You may need a coach. You may need a journey partner. Some people don't have the finances to hire anybody. If you need a journey partner or need insight, that kind of thing, and you just want to bounce something off someone, I talk in my book about sounding boards, which is someone that helps you really work through an idea or a feeling or perspective that you have, and you just want some insight on it. It's ideal that you leverage people that maybe have insight in that area, but or can help you. But I want you to make sure that you leverage your resources, counseling and coaching professional, or whatever you have. And so this intentional conversation platform is to be somewhat of a journey partner and to help, and hopefully and to learn. And I'm looking for that to be reciprocated. So anyhow, I also want to start by saying thank you for those of you that have viewed any of the episodes. I don't even care if you even just accidentally went on for a couple of minutes and then logged off. I appreciate you. I don't really care, but I recommend that you actually go and listen because to the different things that were shared, because it's important for you to really. I know everybody is moving a million miles per hour, but I really believe that the insight that's been shared has been a blessing and can really help. But it's just a matter of investment and whether or not we're willing to invest the time to actually slow down and get it and get everything situated. And I think December and January is a good time. I know a lot of us, if you're in the professional world, just wrapped up on performance reviews with employees and yourself. And so you're setting goals for 2025 there. And so if other companies could do it to run their company, we should be able to do it to run our lives and our household. And so anyhow, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. And I'm going to share the resources that I've leveraged. I'm really going to share, again, visuals with you guys. I'll share my screen. But I titled this intentional conversation about abundant living. And then the subtitle was just making sure that we're, as we go into 2025, we're living intentionally. We're growing, we're glowing and flowing. And so funny thing, God had given me that at the end of last year when he had me launch the book. And so he told me that, Shay, I expect for you to grow. You need to be intentional about growing whatever space you're in. So even though I've been married almost 24 years, it'll be 24 years, March 17th, I'm still growing in my relationship with my husband. And I should be doing that intentionally because we are growing as individuals, and we're growing collectively as a couple and then a family unit. I'm growing with the relationships with with our children. I expressed to my sisters that this is a transitional time. Even this holiday is transitional for me and my husband because our daughter will be 23, our son is 20, and holidays look a little bit different, right? Hopefully we get some good presents because they got good jobs, but that but like some of the things it can be easy to say, oh, we're not going to put up the tree, we're not going to do this because they're not little kids anymore. But but what I've been challenged to do is, Shay, grow in the space that you're in and learn what's still intriguing to them. How do you engage in their life? How do you and your husband do that? And so what my husband and I did last Friday was with my sister, hosted a Christmas party for their friends. And so we played games. We did a whole lot of things together. And a lot of them hadn't played certain games before. And spent time with some adults in this dynamic, or this the way that we did. And so it introduced them to new things, and I learned a lot as well. So did my husband and the rest of the adults there. So the goal is, again, just to figure out where you are and continue to grow professionally. I'm challenged. Okay, Shay, you learned something this year. What are you looking to learn next year? One thing I'm learning about, but it's a whole different episode, and it's not even connected to intentional dads movement, but this perimenopause and menopause situation, I'm learning about myself and how I think. But it may have something to do because my husband has to deal with me, so I just don't know, and the kids. So and I've been good. I don't want to put anybody on alarm, but I still have to grow by learning about who I am as I go. So the idea there is growing is all relative, right? And when I say relative, that means that you have to assess where you are to figure out where you want to go. And so that's one thing that I'm supposed to convey to you all tonight. Make sure that you're assessing where you are right now. Assessing not to come down on yourself, not to see what you didn't meet the mark on, to be, again, down on yourself, but you're also not trying to get a big head and think of yourself more highly than you should, right? It really is to assess and say, what is it that I feel went well this year for me, personally, professionally, in whatever role you serve in, as a wife, as a parent, as a friend, as a child, helping your parents, etc., as a co-parent partner. All of these things are important for you to assess if you want to really identify growth, because if you don't get a benchmark, you don't know if you're growing, right? And so part of the promo for this conversation, I also put at the top something that's very foundational to my life, and it says practice makes progress. And I know most of us have heard at some point in time, practice makes perfect, but that's not true. Perfection is elusive, right? And so it's something that's very much it continues to have us search and pursue it, and the target may change all the time. And it can make us feel like we're not worthy. It can make us feel compulsive. It can make us lose sight of what's important in life. So the goal is not perfection. The goal is always progress. And so progress will help you really gauge, yourself a little bit better. And so, but you have to start with the benchmark, and the benchmark will only come if you assess where you are. Part of your assessment within this growth area, part of your assessment is not only done in a vacuum. So I don't do life by myself, um, because we weren't meant to do life by ourselves. And so you got to make sure that whoever you have around you, that they're a part of your assessment process in some way, shape, or form. And so I value the insight from my husband. I value the insight from my kids. I value insight from my friends and family, and some professional um, uh, friends and acquaintances I have, depending on topics. I value that. So the one thing I want to make sure that we're clear on is we cannot see our side. We cannot see ourselves from an outside perspective. So even though we have intentions, or even though we feel like we're growing, even though we feel like we're making progress, it's important to calibrate and get another vantage point. And that's why you do it with people around you. And not everybody should have access to that space, because not everybody's mature enough to help you in your growth. And we all know situation and people that are not necessarily happy if you're growing, right? So again, that's where the maturity comes in at. Sometimes you can't have certain conversations with certain people that aren't ready to move forward and grow, especially about you. So you have to be careful again in your assessment process, because your assessment process is connected to your growth plan. All right. So growth can be, again, all of your relationships, all of your professional roles, personal roles, wherever you are. The goal is to assess, and do not do it by yourself, right? And do not neglect yourself. This is a side note. Don't just ask a lot of people about who you are, right? Because you need to first start with you and the Lord. He created you. You know yourself. You know yourself to a certain degree. One vantage point is internally, you know that part. And so you can write down on a piece of paper, hey, these are the things I feel like I did well. And these are the things I don't feel like I really did well. And I really want to see something move. Do not write down like 15 things. Start with like 5, 3 to 5. And again, these are not New Year's resolutions. These are things that you are foundational for your continued growth. So you want to write those things down about yourself, and say, hey, here's how I view myself and my progress, or my lack thereof. And then go ahead and talk to someone else and capture those things too, because sometimes we are our biggest critics sometimes, and we're not our biggest champion sometimes. And so it's important to be able to level set that, because you are everywhere you go, right? You can't escape you. You can ditch other people, but you are everywhere you go. So it's important to have compassion on yourself, celebrate yourself, but it's also important to course correct yourself and critique. But again, all of that is a part of this growth assessment process. So that's connected to our abundant living. A lot of times we're talking about what it is we want to do, how we want to do it, that type of thing. And we're talking a lot, but we're not taking action. And so that's easy to do, to talk about what it is we want to do. I didn't talk about for a long time that I'm about to start eating clean again. And I've been talking about that for about 30 days. And really, I haven't really busted a move, right? Well, I did bust a move, but I needed 30 moves. So I had one good day, and then the other 29 didn't work out that well. But if I am back here saying again, oh, this is what I want to do, I need some accountability, and people that won't let me give them my laundry list of why I didn't get to it. Right now, I want them to be gracious to me, but I also want them to say, Shay, you said you wanted to do this. And if they need to get on track too, they can join me. So they probably would adjust their response accordingly and say, hey, Shay, I have been saying I wanted to do this for 30 days too. So let's do it together. Because I tell you one thing, if they say, if they check me and they off track, I might really be looking at them like, and you said, and then I get off track. Okay. All right. So definitely pay attention to the growth period, and what you want to do by assessing yourself, doing life with other people, and then and getting insight from them, and then taking action. And so that's the whole glowing piece, right? Glowing is all about something that is happening from an outside perspective. People can see it. And I believe that all of us, I believe the word, I've always shared that with you guys. But if the word says that we're salt and light, right? Light attracts things, right? And I believe that light attracts a lot, right? Some of the good things, some of the bad things, right? And it exposes a lot as well. And so when you start to glow, it really does help to illuminate things around you for you. It makes things more clear. It helps other people. Sometimes it could be dark in their space, but you come and you have a ray of light where you're able to give it to share it with them, right? If you're a ball of sunshine, right, and they're in a cloudy space or depression or having a lot of anxiety, and when I'm saying this, that could be in your household. That can be at your job. That could be wherever. But again, if you want to live in abundance, you have to recognize what it is that's going to help you work out what you have in the inside that's positive, that's good, that's healthy. But also that might be challenging because it's challenging you to level up. And so these are things that I'm also doing for myself, and I'm assessing them and I'm writing them down because they help me to figure out, Shay, are you doing this? And sometimes I may say I'm not doing this. Or sometimes I'm saying, okay, I'm doing this at only 5%, but I want to be at 100. And that's where I'm like, I have to gauge myself and kind of back up and say, Shay, you have the capacity right now to do only so much. So maybe you want to be at 100%, but you're only at 5%. Next month, try to be at 10%. So really, again, glowing includes a myriad of different things, but it's really how do you show up in the world? So assessing that and then taking action on that also helps. You don't even have to ask people this, how, if I'm impacting you, if I'm helping you, that type of thing. Typically, naturally and organically, people will gravitate towards you, or they will get what they will tell you. This has helped me. So all you got to do is be yourself, right? And in the process of you growing, naturally you end up glowing, and people start seeing things. And I believe God starts using us because we're in action. And we're not just saying, Lord, use me. We're actually doing our work. And while we're doing our work, we're also being an inspiration or helping or giving hope to someone else. And so as we do that, I believe that we naturally start to live in a certain kind of abundance, not only financially, but in ways and means that you can't necessarily quantify. And so, and that then leads into the flow, right? And so once you get your rhythm, you're able to kind of flow in what you want to do. And it really, as you do what we're talking about, really assessing your growth plan and then actually making sure that manifests. When you start to flow, you walk differently. You walk with a different level of confidence because what was shared in my post or my promo, practice makes progress. As much as we practice, we will progress. It's kind of like being in the weight room. If I lift 20 pounds for the next 90 days, I'm probably not going to make a lot of progress. I'm going to condition my body to be at that weight. But if I actually gradually load extra weight on, I don't have to do another 20 pounds. All I have to do is another 5 every 2 weeks. That is called progressive loading, right? Meaning that I'm going to progressively get stronger because I'm really challenging my body to do more. And so I want us to have that kind of same mindset, because that's an analogy I use for myself a lot of times. is, Shay, when I meet resistance, this resistance, because God said all things work together for my good, this resistance got to help me. Even if it was meant to take me out, it got to help me, because just like this weight, I felt like I couldn't lift it. I'm gonna go ahead and lift it. I might be sore. I might need a spotter, right? Doing life with other people. I may need somebody to spot me, because look, my arms about to my arms are about to buckle. But you may need someone. So I don't, and the other piece of that is I don't have to pretend, right? So if I know I'm about to go, and that's why the weight and gym analogy is so important. If I know I am about to go into a situation to lift weights that are too heavy for me, it's wise for me to speak up and ask for help. Can I get a spotter, because I'm about to level up and I need somebody to help me out, because this might be a little heavy and I just need you to lift it up a little bit on the way up, or I need you to lift it, help me hold it on the way down. But if you are, some of us, and I've done this before myself, and I see people do it all the time, I can do it by myself. And then they're over there struggling. The weight on their chest, they can't lift things up. And they're like, oh, I got this. And they end up lifting like 1 or 2 reps, or, 2 times. And then they're like, I'm done. Right. And they still don't have any growth. They still will. They have not even made any progress. And so, again, using general examples or scenarios that help you kind of picture or visualize something that helps you connect the dots is helpful. Again, I use the gym a lot, and then I say, okay, Shay, I need to apply that to other areas of my life. If I'm looking to make progress, I'm going to have to practice. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to level up. I'm trying to level up in a way that's productive, and that can be, I can maximize what it is that God created me for. And I know it's not just for me to live life abundantly and feel good by myself. I know that abundant living is through connecting and doing life with other people. So, Lord, I'm trying to level up in ways that will help me maximize why you created me to be here, because I know that's where all the joy and the excitement and the abundance is. And so how do I do that? And then I kind of go back and say, well, I got to do something different. Right. And so I share all that with you guys to say that the whole grow, glow, flow, that's something that he gave me at the beginning of the year to challenge me. And it's something that I've threaded through everything that I'm supposed to do, or I was doing this year. And I always use the analogy of the gym and exercising, because that helps me really seal in everything that I'm supposed to know to really connect the dots. And then the whole practice makes progress. That just gives me grace. Shay, it helps me with grace. I'm not supposed to be perfect. I'm supposed to make progress. If that's a little bit a day, that's what I'm going to do, because sometimes I feel like I should be able to achieve everything. Right. So and that's unrealistic, but it's something that I want to do. I push myself. So sometimes I'm working, I'm traveling, but then I want to make sure that I have meal prep at the house for my kids. I want to make sure, especially when I was writing the book, I had to turn things back into my publishing partner, and I was trying to do that. And then I was trying to go to the gym. Then it was a lot. And sometimes I would get down on myself, but I was not recognizing that, Shay, you don't have to do all these things, but you also can't just not do any, right? So how do you assess what, where you are, prioritize, and then do a little bit at a time, and communicate with those around you so that they can help you, or that there's not an expectation for you to do something, because sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because of expectations that we think other people have of us, and we don't assess those either. Right. And that assessment looks like, I know you expect this of me, or I believe you expect this of me. Some people may say, no, I never expected that. It's something that we've had in our head. Some of the times they're like, yeah, I do expect that. And sometimes your response is, hey, I know you expect this, but my capacity right now doesn't permit me to give that to you. So here's what I can do. Will that work? If they say no, well, then you ain't gonna get that or them what you expected. And so you have to be able to and be willing to have those conversations. So so I wanted to show you guys a couple of things that I feel were extremely important to me and helpful to me as I fulfill some of my divine assignments this year and as I go into next year. Because if whoever God allows me to partner with, girl, I say girl, but guys, whoever's out there listening, I look forward to staying connected with people. And then if I can share best practices with other people, I will as well. And so, sorry guys, I'm still recovering from a little bug I had. And so, if I can share it with other people, I will. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys, a couple of websites. I know I have mentioned it on this platform before, but I want to make sure I share it again because these are things that you guys can use if you're interested, and forget about being interested for a second. If you know that you have had something inside of you, when I say inside of you, meaning in your head, in your heart, pondering different things that you have wanted to do or you naturally gravitate to, but you haven't actually assessed it and to the point to where you can actually manifest something. I believe this is your time to start doing it and do it with the concept of practice makes progress, right? Meaning all I got to do is start somewhere. So if you are a person that you feel like you wanted to write your first book or you wanted to publish again, and you're like, man, I don't know where to start. Or I've started and I haven't completed it. Then start, and you don't have to wait until January 1st, right? You can start with your plan right now and kind of box it out and don't do something overwhelming to where you're like, I want to have this done, all of this done, all chapters written by February. If you don't have anything, maybe you say, you know what I want to do before this year ends, I want to have a plan and a little outline of what I believe I want to cover in my book. And then I'll write a chapter a little bit every month. I'll have a little bit, and then I will leverage my resources, right? What I mean by that, you have resources that you may not tap into, but I'm here to tell you because I have completed my my AI training. And so I'm all about leveraging your resources. And you guys will hear me say that all the time. So this Chat GPT that's free out here, leverage it. You're not supposed to be dependent on these things because God made you as a creative, in my opinion. And I believe that, being and creating a proper place for it is important, right? I definitely leverage it now to edit. I do that, but I don't like for it to create something for me because create certain content for me sometimes because I just work differently. But I'm not. If you're a person that leverages it for that, I'm sure that people that leverage it for that also use it as a source to brainstorm, and then they may edit it and incorporate their own ideas. But I share this topic to say, if you are supposed to be writing a book and you want to, leverage Chat GPT, you could say, hey, this is an outline I'm struggling with. My book is about this. I'm struggling with, I want to know more information about more topics that coincide with this book concept. It will come back with a ton of different things. You then are a person that can say, oh, this aligns with what I authentically feel I'm supposed to be writing about. Right? If you're a person that has been scared, oh my gosh, I'm not sure. I had writer's block, so I haven't finished. Wherever you last finished, you can use people, you can use the Chat GPT, you can use social media, not to necessarily share I'm writing a book, but whatever your topic is, you can ask questions. You can do polls and say, hey, I have a question about this topic. Is this a topic of interest? I share these small little things with you because you can actually, a part of your plan, say, I'm going to do this. Um, you know, I'm going to write my outline. And then the next month, I'm going to start working on one chapter. And at the end of that month, if I'm not done, it's okay. Or if I get stuck, I'll go ahead and go to another chapter. And then I will go ahead and stop and get feedback or whatever. And I say whatever, feedback from a person, publishing partner, or leveraging some of the resources I've already talked about. It will help you to start feeling like you're making progress. And that's what you want to feel, because we are people of accomplishment. We like to feel like we're moving forward. If we feel stuck, then we're less likely actually to be successful in what it is we want to accomplish. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see. Set. Share screen. So let me know. I hope somebody give me a thumbs up when you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? Or okay. All right. So because I'm on the topic of talking about books, right? God gave me the idea to write this book, Intentional Dads, several years ago. And at the time, I did not know Athena. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. This is Athena. She is the CEO of Water Springs Publishing Company. So let me just share with you why this is amazing, right? And why I'm highlighting her in her resource, because it's important. This is the publishing partner I had to produce my book. And I want to make sure that I highlight it because even though it was a learning experience for me, I was grateful to be able to partner with her and her team to actually manifest what God had told me to manifest. Because I'll tell you one thing, you guys, if you are supposed to be doing something, you will be, back in the day, we would say we would have to pick our face off the floor. You have to pick your face up off the floor if someone else comes out and does something you were supposed to do. And I'm not even talking about competition. I'm talking about you will feel a conviction in the inside. Something will make you feel like, man, and you will also start to say, well, I probably shouldn't do that because it's already done. When if you are supposed to do it, you are supposed to do it no matter if someone else has done it before. We all should really learn a lot from like the chicken places, right? Hell, you can have a chicken spot on one corner here in Texas. We got Golden Chick, which is amazing. Their wings. Okay, let me get on track. So in one corner, you'll have Golden Chick. A block down, you will have Popeyes. A mile down, you will have Churches. And then we have some other chicken spots that are just Dave Chicken. You got so many daggone chicken places, and none of them have said, oh no, we got enough chicken spots. They really feel like, oh my gosh, I know there's a lot of chicken spots, but ain't nobody got this chicken recipe. And that's how we have to be. But it's ideal if we're able to do it without seeing someone else like do something. But again, if you do see someone that has done something that you feel like you're supposed to do, again, don't treat it as something like a negative thing. Use it as an inspiration and something that helps motivate you to still manifest what you're supposed to manifest. The goal in really sharing this with you guys is to say, whatever you're supposed to be doing, you were created to do that specific thing. There's nobody on this in the universe that can or has the ability to do it like you do it, because it was uniquely placed in you to do. And so, and trust me when I say somebody's waiting for you. Someone is, and when I say waiting, they may not even know they're waiting, okay? But it's something that you are supposed to be doing. I'm going to give you an example. I once I published my book through ooh, I I think maybe when I published it in December, and then I had my dentist appointment in February, my biannual. And my dentist and my favorite dental hygienist, um, they're always engaged and asking about how things are going. And I had maybe told them I was writing a book, and they were interested every time I come. When the kids, we've been going there for like 15 years, but when the kids would go, they would say, "How's your mom? How's the book?" So I took two of the books, one for the owner of the practice and my dental hygienist, and I was like, I just felt led to send them a book. They may, or take them a book. They may not even read. I didn't even get into the details. I just was trying to be obedient. Long story short, I go there this year for my 6 months. So sometime in August, and the my dental hygienist, she shared with me, "Hey, Shay." No, first she shared with my daughter Asia when she went, "Hey, can you tell your mom I read her book? It was really, really good. I love the insight I read. I love the example. It really touched me." And so Asia came back and shared that with me. And I think that right there was amazing, because one thing again about me, I like to be intentional about the roles I have. And so as a parent, as a mother, I really want it's important to me how my children view me and how they experience me. And so, and that also means that there are other people that may have perspectives or whatever about me. So when my kids um, get a compliment or something like that from someone, it makes them feel good. And then they feel good coming to share it with me. So it was all around a good moment for me. And I thought it was, I was like, "Oh, Lord, thank you so much." Because sometimes you impact some people and you may not ever know. It may not be purpose for you to know. But I was very grateful that she took the time to tell my daughter, who came and shared it with me. And then when I went, she went even further and shared with me specific details in my book about my own testimony that actually resonated with her story as well. And she asked me some questions about certain things that were hard for her. And I shared this to say, we would have never talked about this. We've been going there for 15 years, but we would have never talked about the topics that she expressed to me about her personal life, because I go to get my teeth done, right? Clean. And it's not a conversational space. Okay. They're they're in your mouth and everything. So we're not conversing like that. But she would be, even before she got started, she started asking me, because it was a very sensitive topic. And it wasn't easy to necessarily reveal. But I was blessed by it, because who knew? Meanwhile, I could have said, "Lord, why am I taking these books over there? I don't even know if these people read." I could have said a lot of different things, but I just did it. And I didn't know that it was going to impact her in that kind of way. Another thing I'll share with about this particular Water Springs team. So this is Athena against, and Athena has part of her team members. She has a couple of team members, but then she also partners with other groups. But one particular team member that she has her name is Crystal, and she is like a little sister to me. Now, Crystal and I connected through a fitness program that we were doing when I was doing my fitness competition. And in the fitness group, we just introduced ourselves, and the person that was coaching us at the time said, "Hey, can you guys share your profession just in case we can help each other in other capacities?" And at this time, you guys, I only had the draft of the book that I put together. I had based on my research on how to publish on your own. And I felt kind of stuck, because I was like, "Lord, now that I'm here, what do I do next to make it turn into a book?" As I'm in that space, I'm still trying to move forward. And Crystal, in the fitness discussion, said, "Hey, I work for a publishing company." What in the world? And so I said, I heard that loud and clear, and I knew I had to take action. So I reached out to Crystal and I said, hey, can you share more about this publishing company? Because I also needed to pray and say, Lord, is this who I'm supposed to work with? Because I had a publishing partner before, but it was not in alignment with what God wanted to be manifested. Okay, so there were certain things that God wanted me to do. Technology wise, I have QR codes with videos in there, certain level of professionalism. And so I started with one publishing partner. It came to an end, and I didn't know what to do next. And then because I still kept doing what I could, he made a way for me to learn about what Crystal's, the company Crystal worked for, which is a Water Springs publishing company. She made the connection. I was able to speak to Athena through a consult because she does those. So if you were to go onto her website, you'll see the different services she has here. You will see how her gallery of or her what am I trying to say? The different books that that she's helped to publish herself, as well as partner with other people. The piece that I thought was fascinating before I even started working with Athena, if you go to her website here and you go to shop order, you can, let me just move here. These are all she has a ton of resources here, but the resource that I went to was this ultimate self-publishing planner. This thing is thebomb.com. So if you are a person that has nothing or has a little bit of something, if you were to order this tells you step by step how to honestly publish on your own. But if you want to publish through in partnership through Water Springs, they're going to help you, but this guide is still helpful because it gives you an outline as you partner with Athena and her team. As you can see, she has other resources here that are available that you can check out. But this is the one I wanted to call out because this is a resource that helped me. By the time I started working with, she has a publishing services here. But as I looked through, I ordered that for myself. I made sure I had what I had together aligned with what she had. And I was missing a lot. And so when I got on the phone with her and I was ready to consult, we were able to get to things quicker. It still was a process, but the thing is that I also introduced the new things that the Lord told me to do that, thank goodness for Athena and her team, they were willing to, like the QR codes. Her team had never done the QR codes in a book format with videos attached. That was something that God told me to do. And I didn't know how to do that, but it worked out because I had partners that were willing to actually explore it with me. And because we were able to manifest it. So this is a resource that I've mentioned before, I've tagged, but I just wanted you guys to see how if you go to her website, you can schedule a call. This is who you'll be speaking with. You can follow her and her team on IG as well as Facebook. And she does a lot of different Zoom events. And I'm trying to think of the name, kind of like virtual workshops, if you will. I think she even started doing conferences this year. So anyway, kudos to her and her team. Thank you again, Athena. Thank you again, Crystal, for just being a part of my divine assignment. I've already told them that, but I want to share this resource with you as well. One last thing, Athena had, once I submitted my manuscript, she had an editor go through it, and it has several rounds of editing, and they'll work with you on those different things as well. But the editor actually read everything, did her thing, but she actually went on to share how the book impacted her. And she wanted Athena to share it with me. And she shared some details about, being in a relationship, growing up in a space that made her, she was subjected to some molestation and different sexual abuse. And then she shared how she was able to share that with her father, but her father didn't know how to process it. But then she said she shared that she learned from it. And she also shared that that really was the start to her kind of working through certain relationships with her husband, who I think she was married for 17 years. And I'm sharing this because I published it before I posted what she actually wrote. But she said that she was married for 17 years, had 2 children, and then her husband ended up going with someone else, and how that made her bitter. And she would talk negatively about him and really didn't look to partner, and how that impacted her children. And she could have done things differently. And reading what some of the men shared in my book, chapter 3 is A Straight Talk, No Chaser. It's just me asking men questions and then giving responses. And one question I asked specifically is, how do women help and how do we hinder them? And she says she learned a ton from it. And had she had some of these resources back then, she may have made different decisions. And that was early on in the process, and that was encouraging to me. And it told me the power of, even though I didn't know who it would impact, and I didn't think about a editor actually being connected, it really was it was encouraging to me. And so again, if this is an area that God has placed in you, and you have questions, or if there's anything I can assist you with, provide insight to, I'm available to be a sounding board. Please let me know. You'll just send an email to, I think, Atoya, you put it in here. Can you put the email address in here? idmovement2020@gmail.com. And I'll do what I can to share whatever I can to help you. Because again, if that's in you, we want to make sure it gets out. It gets out. And so the resources that I've shared here, I think will help. And Athena and her team are wonderful. They'll definitely help should you choose to leverage them as well. Okay. So this is just one area, but if there's other areas like a podcast or getting a new job, or let me just go to like relationships, being a better co-parent, right? If there are things like that you want to do, then there are a lot of resources out here. I've mentioned before, there are certain resources that I've partnered with, like Dad's, which is out of Seattle, Washington. I've had the opportunity to go there and really see the resources that they have available for fathers. And this resource is specifically for fathers to be able to actually learn how to co-parent and how to be present in a different way. So it's not saying that you're a deadbeat right now and you're not doing the right thing, but you could be doing the right thing, and the person you're co-parenting with makes it hard on you. How do you actually cope with that? They have wonderful resources that will help you cope with that, because sometimes it's not easy to talk to just family and friends about it. You need to actually talk to people that have overcome some different things and have other resources that you can leverage. And so Dad's is Divine Alternatives for Dad Solution or Services. This is a resource you can definitely leverage if you're a father, or if you know a father. Some of the times I've had colleagues that have sons who are looking to be present in their child's life, but they're getting fought by the co-parent, and they don't know they don't feel comfortable going into the court or having the court in their business. And mainly it's because they're not prepared and they don't know where to start. Well, the organizations like this, they have representation, they prep you, they support you, and it makes it better for everyone involved. And so this is one resource that, again, I had the pleasure of connecting with last January, which was amazing, because this was my first podcast was with them. They asked me to be on it, and we walked through the book. I was blessed by that. And Marvin and his wife, Jeanette, are the founders of it, but they have a team of people that help. So this is just a wonderful resource for anyone to share with any father or soon to be father that needs help. And also they help fathers who may not necessarily they may be in the legal system, meaning they may be in jail, they may be going through some other things. They help both in a myriad of different situations. And so I share this because some of the times we want to do different things, or we want to help other people do certain things. So we want to help people to grow. We want to help people to glow and flow, all the things we've talked about, but we don't know how to do it. And sometimes it's not our place to do it. Sometimes it's our place to share these resources with someone. Okay. So this is one. Fathers Incorporated is another one. This is out of Atlanta. They have a lot of wonderful resources. They have Dad's University. They have just a myriad of different resources for fathers. And so different programs. They have virtual programs. So they don't only service people in the Atlanta area, but they also service people outside. So I was blessed to be able to I was invited to their Daddy Power Hour, where I was able to speak with some fathers, and they asked questions about how to build relationships with their younger daughters and their older daughters that they aren't doing well with. And so it was definitely a blessing, but this is a resource for you to share. And if you're a woman, here's the thing. Some women are like, oh, this is just for fathers. No, if you have any male in your life, you can learn by being exposed to what is helping them. And so that's another area of growth that I've taken on for myself, because it really helps me to understand my husband differently, my son differently, and other men that I work with and work with in the community and at work. So this is a resource for anybody that's interested in learning and growing, not only fathers. Same thing on dads. Another resource that I've mentioned that has helped me and definitely other people is Anthem Family Strong. The great thing about this is out of Dallas, but they have resources, I believe, that may be virtual as well. But the cool thing about this is that it's a myriad of different things. So you can get, you can reach out to this resource to get insight about, I'm sorry, I'm not going to move this, but you guys see, I'm going to read from the left going down. If I'll start with finances, they have resources if you need to learn about that, if you need to grow around that area, wellness, relationships. If you need, you're a Spanish speaking person, they have some resources for that. Parenting, and this is co-parenting, so father and mother. And then they have specific boot camps for fathers. So this is a resource, again, if you're trying to grow in the area of parenthood. I don't care if your children are young or they're old, meaning they're under your authority. And hopefully, if they're older, they are wanting your advisement. So this is something that you can leverage anytime. So I've mentioned this before, and I wanted to share that again. And the one other one I wanted to share with you guys, this is a Dad Cipher. I had the founder of this on my platform probably maybe 4 months ago, and he's a professor, and he talked about hip hop therapeutic writing. And so from grade level all the way through higher education, I'm talking about college, undergrad, grad, etc. He has a ton of resources that you can leverage to help you in your process, whether it is resources if you need them for speaking engagements, but he also has workshops that he does. He has other resources out here that if you're looking for help on supporting your children on how to go to college and things of that nature, because some of the times we don't know how to do that. Fathers and mothers, we don't know how to help our children, and it's hard to get help from the education system. He has a ton of things on his website, so I wanted to make sure I shared this with you. So definitely take time to go through anything you're interested in here. And he's also on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So Dr. JL he's a wonderful, just a wonderful soul, and his wife also, who is, I believe she is a therapist for young adults. I can't remember the ages, but she has her own private practice. And so again, for there to be a dynamic couple that does this, I think we can actually that works together to support the community and the family unit. I think this would be a great resource for you to keep and save it as a bookmark by simply clicking this little star. Can you guys see the star? Oh, here it is. Yeah, the star. If you bookmark this, any of these sites that I put out here for you guys, it will help you. And then, oh, that's my website. So these are the resources that have been very instrumental for me in this process, in this growth space where I've stepped out and actually invested in this and what God told me to do. And so he told me first to write the book. I wrote the book. I published it November of last year, and the actual physical copy started going out in December, right when Athena had them shipped to me, because that's the amazing thing. Her company, they make sure that they get the book printed for you, that is published on Amazon, Target, Barnes and Noble, all of the different platforms. It's in the proper something of Congress. I can't remember. Anyway, the international book governance process. I can't remember what they call it, but it's I can't remember it. I'm drawing a blank. But your book, if you want to publish a book, you can do it just through Amazon. And if you did that, it would just be through Amazon. It's not something that will be in the international something of Congress. Shoot, I can't think of it. But meaning that it won't be something that could be sold or circulated across or internationally. And so that's something that Athena and her team are well versed and skilled at, and they help you with that. And the other thing, once I published the actual physical book, I was like, I got to get it turned into an ebook or audio book. I got to figure out how to do the audio book. Next minute, I know, a few weeks later, she and her team sent me a link and said the audio book is available already on Zoom on Amazon, and it blew me away, and other services. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was thinking I was going to have to go to another step, and they already took care of it. And so again, leverage your resources. If someone's sharing something with you, take the time to really invest, dive into it. I encourage people to, especially if you're going to write a book, start reading a couple of books, not audio books. That's important, but actual physical books, because there are people that still read them. And there is something special about having a tangible book as well. And so start looking into them, and then start reaching out to Athena or whoever you want to work with. All right. So those are the resources I wanted to share with you guys. Let me see what else the Lord told me to share with you guys. Give me 1 second. I just real quick before I wrap up, I want to just share with you. That's what I was going to do. Share with you like the flow. So the Lord had told me to produce this, or to write the book and publish it, and it all worked out. And I did that last year in December, right after I published, or after I launched my book, November the 15th, on my birthday of last year. We had a huge event. I work for a large financial institution, and we were at a large town hall, and someone ended up introducing me to, I can't remember, I think it was one of our market communication reps. And she said, Shay just published her first book. And so the communication lead said, we would like to spotlight you across our intranet to highlight what employees are doing outside of the firm, and how it is also connected with some of the things, how they show up at the firm in their roles. And so I said, oh, okay. And so they did a whole layout of the book and highlighted some of the community partners I work with, which was my sorority sister Jazz, who helped do all the videos in my book. And that was on our homepage of my firm, and that is it's an international bank, and it was just amazing. People got to see it, and they titled it Intentional Living. So it was amazing. And since then, my firm has supported me in different capacities. And again, it's been amazing. But my point is, had I not taken action and been prepared, I would not have been prepared for that moment that God had, I would say, ordained. And then so they published the article in December. I didn't even know it came out. People just kept coming to me and telling me about it. And I've had plenty of colleagues that went out and bought it and have talked to me about it. I got a notification today from a colleague who just reached out and said, hey, I was a part of a mentoring circle with her. And she's an older white lady. She was like, hey, I just want to reach out and let you know I read the book. And she just went into just a really thoughtful perspective that I was so encouraging about what was shared and what she learned, and about her takeaway was, I'm grateful that, I now understand the importance of doing life together, something like that. She was like, I'm grateful to be able to do life with others. And I just, again, I'm grateful because had December last year not happened, where they published that across the firm, I may not have gotten that notification today, which was definitely encouraging. And so that was in December. And again, because I was prepared, the Lord had another opportunity lined up for January, where I was asked to come up to Seattle and participate in a conference called the Love Conference. It happens at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. It's going to be this year too, January, the weekend of Martin Luther King weekend. I think it's the weekend of the 18th. Love Conference, that's LOV, 2024, Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church in Seattle, Washington. My husband and I will be doing another workshop there this January. So if you are in that area, come check it out. But our first time was last year, and that was a tremendous blessing as well. And because I was up in Seattle, that's when I was asked to do the podcast with dads. The next month, it was a connection with Fathers Incorporated, who asked me to join their Daddy Power Hour. And then another Black authors panel discussion. I can't remember what they called it, but one of my good friends, childhood friends, Erin Fleeks, she was facilitating that, asked me to come on there as a Black author for Black History Month. And when I say things kept coming, right? March, I was asked to be a part of this women's group. And I'll just share this because it was significant. It was all white women who won, and we talked about the book. We talked about the impact of it. And I thought that was amazing because, again, here's a book called Intentional Dads. And I thought it was amazing that happened. And again, I can keep going. I just would share that whenever you do what you're supposed to be doing, again, if it's not a book, it may be starting up a kids community league, or stepping out and doing something that you are very apprehensive about or afraid of. Whatever it is, if you do your part, trust and believe that God will show up and he's going to do his. And it's going to oftentimes be very effortless. And sometimes you'll have some roadblocks, but that's okay too. Again, that's the resistance. That's a part of your weightlifting process. And if you lift it, even with the spotter, you will get stronger. All right. And so that's just about all I had. I will say all of this, right? That God has done, and me actually going through these different growth experiences and helping to other people to connect with certain resources, have also it's also led to me finding out who my biological father was, which this whole Intentional Dads um, book is founded on the fact that I have 9 bonus dads, and I did not know who my biological father was. And again, because of all of these different things that that I was able to actually take action on and move forward with the Lord's help and other people, it actually resulted in me learning about who my biological father was just this September. And I just believe that everything is all connected. And so I wanted to just conclude on that to say, again, you never really know who is waiting for you, and how what you're supposed to be doing will impact other people. But you also never know how it's going to really elevate and expand your life. And so that elevation, expansion, all of that is abundance. Now I have some aunties. I have a whole new side of the family who I've been conversing with. I've I've learned that I can actually write a whole book and partner with people to actually get it done and do other things associated with it. And that's a lot from a girl that didn't even know how to read for a good portion of her life. I just want to and just encourage you and have this be a call to action. If there's something that you're supposed to do, trust and believe. All you got to do is try a little bit at a time. And as you do that, you will start to experience what the abundant life really is, right? Because it comes in so many different shapes and forms. And you can't even imagine what you'll experience as you do what you're supposed to be doing. And so I'm going to encourage you to do that. Leverage your resources, leverage your resources, leverage your resources. So definitely the Lord, definitely your family. If there are some family members that will support you, maybe, sometimes the family members don't be buying nothing. So coming to do stuff. So sometimes they're not supposed to do that. Sometimes your family members are supposed to be doing other things. But leverage them. Don't get caught up in unnecessary things. Leverage your family to the degree that they are able to be a part of what you're supposed to be doing. Leverage your professional relationships as much as you can, and definitely leverage even strangers. I interviewed men for over almost 2-year period of time, and some of the men I didn't even know, but I asked them if they were willing to share their story, and they did. And so again, leverage your resources, but it all starts with you assessing where you are, where you want to be, and putting together a game plan and a team that will help you, and then acquire your team members along the way. And some of them may also be released along the way, and that's okay as well. All right. So I hope this helps somebody. If you guys have questions, you need anything else, let me know. Don't hesitate to reach out. I pray that you guys have a fantastic holiday season. I pray that you take time today or tomorrow, but don't keep putting it off, but to start assessing where you are. Write it down real quick. It doesn't have to be a long period of time. Don't make something a mountain when it can be a molehill, meaning that you don't have to have everything set up and your coffee to the side, the house quiet to write some things down. Even if you have to do something in your car or somewhere along the way, do something to really assess and start putting together a plan. Because that's when you'll feel like, okay, now I am really making progress, right? Now I know what abundance is, or it feels like, or a certain degree of it. Okay. Sometimes we want something, but we haven't even visualized what it looks like. So when we experience it, we don't get to appreciate it. And so, I'll end there and I'll just say thank you so much for being a part of my abundant experience this year, and for your encouragement and your support. And listen, this is only the beginning. I already know we're about to get this party started. The Lord, He's always up to something. And I have, because I've, let's just say, because I practiced going on this faith journey, then I'm making progress with my faith, because I continue to be like, okay, Lord, now what are we doing next? When the older version of Shay was like, can you give me 15 signs before I take one step? And so, the more we walk on our faith journey, the more confident we become, and the more abundance we get, expansion, elevation, the more we get to experience, because we walk differently. All right. So y'all be blessed. And I'll talk to you next year. All right. Bye.